how's it going guys? Chris here, and today I'll be going over score streaks and all the different kinds of score streaks in this Call of Duty Black Ops 3 guide. You can equip and use up to 3 score streaks to use in multiplayer when building your class, and these can range from all sorts of different things, from streaks that will help your team out to things that will blow your enemies sky high. Unlike Advanced Warfare, the score streaks in Black Ops 3 aren't included in the Pick 10 system, and just like the good old days, the streaks are independent from your loadout, meaning choosing them won't limit your choices when building your class. So in other words, pick score streaks as you've got nothing to lose this time. So of course you get points towards your chosen streaks by killing other enemies, but you can also get points by taking out hostile score streaks and by completing objectives. Though whenever you die, your streak points will go back to 0 and you'll have to start the whole process all over again. Anyway, let's go right into this by going over the first score streak. The first one you'll be able to use is the HDXD, or Hover Capable Explosive Device. Remember the RCXDs from Black Ops 2? Well, they're back, but this time they've evolved a bit and now they can hover. It's basically a remote controlled hover car that's got a bomb charge strapped to it that can be detonated at any time. You can drive around seeking out enemy targets, and when you've found an unsuspecting victim, zoom up to them and give their shins a good blast. A cool new thing that the HDXD has over its older brother is the fact that it has a thrust powered jump and the ability to drive on walls. Next up is the simple favourite, the UAV, or Unmanned Air Vehicle. If you're not too sure where your enemies are, then the UAV should help you out. Just like in all the other Call of Duty games, the UAV in Black Ops 3 is no different and performs exactly the same. Once activated, radar pings will appear on the minimap, highlighting enemies as little red dots. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Not only does it give you a general advantage, but it'll also help your teammates out too. Plus you'll gain some easy assist points for every kill your team makes. Though one thing to bear in mind is that the UAV can be cancelled out by the Ghost perk, and it can be shot down quite easily too. Another returning streak from the other games is the care package. Once you've assigned a spot on the floor for your care package to land on, you will then have to wait for a few nerve shredding seconds before it drops down, giving you access to a random score streak. The higher the score streak, the less likely it is to pop up, so don't be too surprised if you see a few UAVs and HDXDs in the process. Though the care package is a great way to sometimes sneakily gain access to a score streak which would otherwise have taken you loads of points to get. It can be very rewarding in some cases, but do keep in mind that you'll have to wait for the care package to drop first. If an enemy catches you out, they'll have the chance to run over and grab it for themselves. Is the enemy team constantly spamming UAVs on you? Well, not to worry, because the counter UAV is going to put a stop to it. It'll completely scramble and disable the enemy minimap, leaving them guessing where anyone is for about 30 seconds. Not only does this mean that you can go wild with your unsuppressed weapon, but you'll also gain assist points for every enemy your team kills too. This means more easy points towards your next streak, and a better overall score. Plus it'll make it a lot harder for the other team to predict spawns and judge where not only you are, but their own teammates are. A new score streak that's sort of similar to the Hunter Killer drone from Black Ops 2 makes an appearance in the form of the Dart. It's an anti-personnel drone equipped with 3 lock-on missiles. Unlike the Hunter Killer streak that let you casually throw it up in the air and let it do all the work for you, the Dart is controlled by the player, letting you fly it around and cause the damage yourself. It can lock onto up to 3 targets, one at a time, whilst you glide around, and once you've locked onto an enemy, you can then fire a rocket out that'll hone in on them. In good old fashioned Hunter Killer style, you can then dive bomb into an unsuspecting enemy to get one last kill. The Dart can be quite tricky to control and used effectively, but in the right scenario, it can rack up quite a few kills. A good strategy to use is to fly upwards in the sky towards the top of the map, and then turn around and come back to the map from a distance. You'll be able to spot any enemies running around outdoors more easily, and it'll give you more time to acquire a lock on. The Guardian is another returning score streak from Black Ops 2. It's used as more of a tactical choice than a lethal one, and it allows you to place a microwavable dish that projects a beam of radiation outwards in the direction it's facing in. Any enemies that come into contact with the beam will be stunned, disoriented, hurt, and well basically cooked alive. Although it doesn't deal huge amounts of damage, and the beam can be quite easily avoided by using another path, it's a good way to deter your enemies from going somewhere on the map, as if they come into contact with the radiation, they'll become much easier targets to kill. And it's a better one to use in game modes that require more strategy to win. Placing the Guardian down on a flag in domination, or at a heavily used choke point in capture the flag, will pretty much disable that route for them whilst the Guardian is up. Another familiar streak, the Lightning Strike. This isn't much different from the other games, and it'll let you rain death from above via 3 jets. After placing down 3 specific points on your virtual handheld map, an airstrike will set out to drop bombs on those 3 places. A new handy little feature that you can now do once on every strike is a UAV ping that will automatically give you a quick glimpse at where your enemies are on the map. This only happens the first time you open the virtual map though, so make sure you take advantage of it when you need to. Though you can also combine a normal active UAV or a hater with the lightning strike to coordinate your attack a bit more accurately. The Hellstorm missile makes a comeback in Black Ops 3 too. This lets you launch a player guided missile from the heavens which can be slowed down and sped up to cater for your situation. Enemy targets show up with red indicators around them and you're pretty much aiming for them. But it's not just an ordinary missile you're firing down. Hellstorms let you deploy smaller cluster bombs once you detonate them, which then fire off in the general direction in which the missile is aimed at, giving your strike a much wider effect. Deploying the cluster bombs early will spread the bombs out over the map, possibly hitting your targets further away from each other, but with a good chance of them missing too. Though deploying later will allow you to be more accurate and concentrate your cluster bombs in a smaller area. Hellstorm missiles make a great choice for blasting away gangs of enemies taking over objective points in different game modes, and are best saving for times when you know there's going to be a lot of targets in a specific area. The hardened Sentry is a placeable heavy gun that locks onto targets and kills anything that runs out in front of it. Unlike the last Sentry gun we saw in Advanced Warfare that had to be player controlled in its basic form, the hardened Sentry is automated and can still be controlled by you if you want it to be, but it can probably do a better job if you leave it to do the work for you. The Sentry will only fire at targets within its firing range, so in other words, it's not going to spin around and hit the guy who's sneaking up behind it, but it will shoot at enemies in front of it within its field of view. Lasted about 90 seconds, the Sentry is a great way to get some easy kills by placing it down in a highly congested area, or overlooking popular parts of the map. Though do take into account that the Sentry can be destroyed by enemies, but it will more than likely be a tough cookie to take out if you place it in a spot that's hard to flank. If you equip the Cerberus score streak, you can airdrop an automated ground attack drone to your position. It plays out a little bit like Wally's violent big brother, randomly driving around the map for about 2 minutes or so, gunning down enemy targets with a machine gun and rockets. Though you can send the Cerberus off to do your own bidding, if you want to control it, you can do that too. The machine gun and rockets have infinite ammo, but its rockets do have to be reloaded after firing 3 of them. The Cerberus is a bit slow and can be easily avoided. It's not exactly going to chase you down, though if you do happen to run into a room with it, there's a good chance you won't be coming out alive. The fan favourite Rolling Thunder is back in Black Ops 3, but unlike in Black Ops 2 where a B-52 bomber will carpet bomb a path, in Black Ops 3 you can order a fleet of high explosive drones to kamikaze the selected path, destroying anyone and anything in its wake. The Rolling Thunder takes airstrikes to another level, becoming a very hard street to avoid if you're out in the open. The drones will bomb your selected path in pairs, covering large areas of the map. The most effective way to use the Rolling Thunder is in combination with UAVs, as you'll know exactly where to place a strike right on top of a bunch of targets. If you know an enemy Rolling Thunder is on the way, there's not much you can do apart from running to the nearest sheltered area. But even then you're not entirely safe as the explosion can still sometimes get you. If you need some backup, the Talon will be there to give you a hand. It's an autonomous aerial escort drone that will fly around above your head, helping to gun down enemies you come into contact with. The Talon lasts about a minute, but if you'd rather take control of the drone yourself and use it for attack purposes rather than defense, then you can do just that. Manually flying the drone around lets you seek out targets to shoot rather than waiting for them to come to you, and is often a better idea if you want to maximise your chances of getting a larger number of kills. The Talon can be shot down though, and if you hover around too low, you're not exactly a difficult target to hit either. The Talon has unlimited ammo and no cooldown time, but its gun isn't exactly the strongest, and it does require some sustained fire to get those kills. Another aerial attack score streak is the Rave, a deadly flying craft that hovers around killing anyone it spots on the enemy team. It's also equipped with stealth capabilities that makes it appear transparent at times, making it harder to spot, plus it has its own defense drone too, in case anyone is trying to destroy it. You can order the Rave to hover around in a specific area, and once you do that, it'll start gunning down targets as soon as it flies into the map, for around about 60 seconds or so. The Rave can't be controlled by the player, so it's going to do all the killing itself, but it's very effective at taking out those enemies within its sight lines, and it's a good streak to use to rack up kills whilst you continue on your rampage. Perhaps the UAV isn't quite as effective as you'd like it to be, or there's just too many people running around with the ghost perk on. Well, the high altitude telemetry and reconnaissance, or HATER, is going to give you pinpoint accurate readings on your enemy's whereabouts, by showing you your targets as red arrows on the minimap, displaying their exact location and position. Just like the orbital VSAT from Black Ops 2, The hater doesn't ping like the UAV, and instead has a constant reading on your minimap and where the enemies are in the match. Being able to predict an enemy's movements and see where they are makes killing them a whole lot easier. The hater lasts for about 40 seconds, and the only way to avoid its effects is by taking it down via launchers. Players using the ghost perk will still show up on the map if the hater is active, and other than taking it out, the only way to stay alive is by playing defensively. One thing the Black Ops games always had were attack dogs, that ran around the map hunting down foes when they were called in. Though Black Ops 3 goes a step further into the future, using big gnarly looking exploding spiky balls of death instead. The robotic anti-personnel sentry, or RAPS, drones will be dropped by an aircraft in a designated place. Once they've dropped down, they'll spin around the map hunting down players and destroying them with ease. The drones will last for about a minute, with more spawning in throughout the streak's duration, though they can be shot and destroyed with a few bullets. So if you see one of them rolling at you, providing you're not too close, shooting the drone might be the best way to get rid of it. Although the drones will seek out players, chasing them down over the map, they can be avoided by boost jumping and wall running around them in open areas, but in confined spaces, the RAPs will probably cause you a lot of misery. Similar to the EMP and other COD games, the power core temporarily disables all enemy electronics, such as the heads-up display, minimap and other things like the red dot sights. Though because Black Ops 3's new thrusters assisted movement system is all electronic, it also reduces the effectiveness of that too. The power core is placed down on the map and all the enemies within its surrounding area will feel its effects, making it harder to play and limiting them with what they can do, giving you a big advantage. Although it's not exactly a streak designed to net you a huge bunch of easy kills, it's very helpful for your whole team, though it's quite an easy target to destroy being a big stationary device just sitting around. So it's definitely best placing it out of the way of enemy sightlines. Ever fancied your own personal Terminator follow you around in a COD game and gun down targets for you? Well, the GR unit isn't exactly a T-800, but it still enjoys killing people nevertheless. The General Infantry unit is a heavily armoured robot that can be set to 2 commands. One is to help and defend, following you around and protecting you from hostiles. The other is to patrol a selected area, gunning down anyone it comes into contact with. You can send it off to areas to clear it from enemies before you advance forwards, which can be helpful in objective based game modes, but you can switch it back to guard mode if you want it to hang back and protect you from behind. The GR unit can be destroyed, but it'll take quite a bit of firepower to do so. Just don't expect to be able to take it out in a one-on-one gunfight. And last up is the Mothership. The Mothership is Black Ops 3's answer to the Chopper Gunner, Paladin, AC-130 and all of those other big ass hovering high kill streaks that we've seen in other Call of Duty games. It's a hugely powerful VTOL weapons platform that will hover in a stationary position in the battlefield. This position can be changed though, moving it to different sides of the map whenever you want. You'll have access to both heavy machine guns and rockets, and you can switch your optics from normal to infrared to help you spot targets a little easier. You can switch cameras for different viewpoints and zoom in to acquire a better view to destroy other players. Not only can you do all of this, but you can also have 2 other teammates assist you in the ship at the same time, with smaller turrets. It takes a lot of points to be able to use, and although it's not quite as easy to use as the Paladin from Advanced Warfare, the Mothership is a powerful streak to have at your disposal, and a serious force to be reckoned with. If an enemy gets one of these, you won't last very long if you're standing outside. So that's all the score streaks and kill streaks in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I hope you found this video useful, make sure you slap that like button if you did, and subscribe to see loads more on Black Ops 3, and plenty of other new and upcoming games too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.